Hello, bonjour, and welcome everybody. My name is Milena Audino. I'm the Business Information Officer here at the World Trade Centre Winnipeg. I would like to begin today's webinar with our land acknowledgement. So we acknowledge that we are gathered on the lands of Treaty 1 territory and that Manitoba is located on the traditional and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabeg, Innu, Dene Saline, and Dakota Oyate nations. We acknowledge we're also on the homelands of the Red River Métis and that northern Manitoba includes lands that were and are on the ancestral lands of the Inuit. The World Trade Centre Winnipeg team respects the treaties that were made on these territories and acknowledges the harms and mistakes of the past and present throughout our nation. Thank you for joining our webinar, Unlock Global Markets and FITTskills for Manitobans, which will be presented by Silvia Baptista, Vice President at FITT Forum for International Trade Training. And we will also be joined by André Bryn, our CEO of the World Trade Centre Winnipeg. Before we begin, I want to share just a few housekeeping items. So number one, please send all of your webinar questions directly in the chat box that will be at the top of your screen, and we will try to answer as many as we can. And then we also have a Q&A session at the end. Number two, for all logistical questions, please send them directly in the chat box and I will try my best to answer as soon as I can. And lastly, you will also receive a PDF copy and a recording of this presentation within the next week. So now it's time to start our webinar. I would like to welcome André to come and speak.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, Milena. I just wanted to open up, and obviously at World Trade Centre Winnipeg, international trade is always front and center. But as for any of us that have been following the news, international trade has been front and center in general for the last few months. And given the new Canada-US context, I think there are very important conversations happening on trade and exporting and increasing our trade expertise and trade activity in Canada. I think we all agree there are great opportunities ahead, but this is our opportunity to seize the day, if you will, and that's as much for businesses as for governments and stakeholders, etc. So as a country and as a province, we rely a great deal on international trade from an economic standpoint. I believe in Manitoba, it's just under 42% of our GDP is directly tied to international trade, to exports and imports. And I think in Canada, it's even larger than that. So there are other provinces that are even more dependent on that. So here's an opportunity for us to look at that even more closely. You know, obviously in Manitoba in particular, not a huge population for a fairly large territory. So any business that's launching should be thinking about those opportunities at the international stage and looking at considering immediately as they develop their business plan long term. And part of that is developing their international expertise, their trade expertise. And that is one of the reasons that World Trade Centre Winnipeg partnered with Forum for International Trade Training and is now the delivery partner for FITTskills here in Manitoba, and monthly courses that we're offering. And the idea is to increase trade expertise in Manitoba, and so that we're trading more, but also trading successfully on the international stage in the US and elsewhere. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Thanks so much to Silvia for joining us today, and looking forward to the presentation and learning more. Thanks very much. Merci, Milena.
Thank you so much, André. I would like to introduce you to Silvia. So Silvia has dedicated over 20 years to advancing international business education and empowering professionals and organizations to be successful in global markets. As VP, she leads FITT's day-to-day operations and strategic initiatives across certification, training, and accreditation. She holds a certificate as a credentialing specialist from the Institute for Credentialing Excellence, providing third-party validation of her skills in developing and maintaining rigorous defensible certification programs, most notably FITT's CITP designation. So Silvia, the floor is all yours.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, André and Milena and Melanie and the rest of the team at World Trade Centre Winnipeg for inviting me to participate in today's webinar. In today's presentation, I'll be highlighting the critical importance of international trade for organizations, specifically international trade training. We're seeing more and more that a lack of trade expertise can really hold organizations back from exploring new markets and opportunities to navigate complex trade environments and to ensure compliance with the ever-evolving regulations. Ultimately, it's all about being prepared for success when it comes to international business. I'll then introduce you to the FITTskills program. We'll walk you through the FITT credentials that validate your knowledge and expertise. And I will also explain the steps to earning the Certified International Trade Professional designation via the pathway that you're currently going through or will be going through with World Trade Centre Winnipeg. So let's get started. Going global really requires a unique skill set. International trade is complex, and success really depends on understanding how to manage that complexity. Without the right expertise, organizations risk making costly mistakes, and those mistakes are really costly when it comes to international business. We've heard a lot of stories over the years. That's why building international trade capacity within your organization is so important, and that's where FITTskills comes in. FITTskills is a globally focused training program. So no matter where your organization is, no matter which markets you're exporting to, the training is relevant. It's about really being strategic in your understanding of what's involved when it comes to international trade and how to navigate it effectively. And importantly, our training is developed by business for business. So we work directly with international trade professionals to ensure that the content is practical, it's relevant, and you can immediately apply it in your day-to-day. The real need to build expertise within organizations, because trade doesn't happen between nations. It really happens between individuals, and individuals that are fully prepared on how to navigate and the complexities of international trade, and individuals who are prepared to understand what it takes to get products and services into a new market. And that's where FITTskills training comes in. It's designed to build capacity within organizations of all sizes. So whether you have a dedicated export team where the knowledge resides in a few different individuals, or whether you're a team of one, the training will be applicable to you and to your day-to-day. It will understand that you have the right knowledge in the right hands to help your organization succeed. Here's how we see the current state right now. So these are major challenges for organizations that are very applicable to today. Today's global market is full of complexity, but it's also full of opportunity. The challenge that many organizations face right now is the lack of in-house expertise to fully understand how to respond to this ever-evolving landscape. Key questions that often go unanswered are not answered really appropriately are: where should I diversify our exports? How do we navigate short-term challenges? And what does our long-term strategy look like? Too often organizations don't invest the time in proper research and due diligence. They also stick to the status quo because foreign markets can really feel daunting, and that leads to inaction. Having someone on your staff that can really break down these challenges and guide the process is invaluable. Another common issue that we see with companies is that companies treat their export plan as a one-time task. So they'll put together their export plan and it's kind of a one and done document, but this is really a living, breathing document. So it should be regularly reviewed and updated to reflect the changing realities of international trade. So these are just some of the key challenges that we see today. And these are some of the ways that FITTskills and FITTskills training can address some of those major challenges that I just covered in the previous slide. The training supports risk management, so helping you minimize costly mistakes by understanding regulations, compliance requirements, and the many risks involved in global trade. You can also leverage trade expertise to expand into new markets, identify opportunities to improve efficiencies within your operations, and build a competitive advantage. It also helps you create stronger and long-term partnerships, which are really essential for sustainable growth. And ultimately, it's about growing your revenue, of course. So because when you have the right trade expertise, you're better positioned to identify how to identify the right opportunities for your organization and how to maximize profitability over the long run. So now I'll walk you through the FITTskills program. So I'll provide a high-level overview of the program and how it is delivered through World Trade Centre Winnipeg. This slide, you can see here the 6 courses that make up the FITTskills program. So we really cover everything from feasibility of international trade to market entry strategies and down to sales and marketing. So how to properly sell your products depending on the market that you're entering into. The program is country neutral and cross-sectoral, so it really doesn't matter which sector you're working in. We cover the foundational knowledge that applies to anyone, regardless of the industry and sector you're in. The FITTskills training is also built on a competency standards-based approach, and that's the work that we do with industry to develop the program. So working directly with businesses to develop the right training that means something to organizations, to those working in international trade. So anytime we are going through the assessment process of the FITTskills program, when we're looking at ways to continue to ensure it's current and relevant and still applies in the current landscape, we're working with industry to ensure that the content is the right content and that the updates that we're making really are still the important critical updates for those working in international trade. First course in the series. Well, first I should mention that the courses can really be taken in any order. We do have a recommended order, but it really depends on the delivery partner who's delivering. So you don't necessarily need to wait for feasibility of international trade to come up to sign up. If the next one that World Trade Centre Winnipeg is delivering is global value chain, it's okay to start with that one as well. So it really is dependent on your needs. So the course Feasibility of International Trade helps you to assess if your trade opportunity is viable. So you're doing your research, you're doing your cost benefit analysis, you're looking at all of the potential risks, and you're learning how to properly assess those risks. And this course is broken down into three core modules: situational analysis, so that's the research, the foundational aspects. Once that module is complete, you're looking at the cost and pricing analysis, and you're ending the course looking at the risk analysis and management framework. International market entry strategy. This course covers what you need to know and do to ensure your success in new markets, and how to select the most effective market entry strategy and how to implement it efficiently. Similar to the feasibility of international trade course, there are a few core modules, and this one is broken down into 4 core modules: planning for international market entry, implementation of market entry strategies, law and ethics, and intercultural competence. The next course in the series is Global Value Chain. So in this course, you're learning how to manage your company's supply chain and logistics to mitigate risks, reduce costs, and improve efficiencies throughout every state of your global value chain. This course has 4 core modules. So you're looking at document management, the procurement process, how to properly manage your inventory, and you're also looking at international distribution. For products and services for a global market, we're covering how to adapt your products and services to the regulations and requirements for selling in international markets. there are 2 core modules looking at both product development and service development. And when it comes to services, I should mention, we often get questions or inquiries from potential students indicating that, they're a service-based organization. Will the FITTskills training apply to me? Absolutely. So although there's a specific module in products and services that is labeled service development, we've ensured that the entire FITTskills curriculum covers both products and services. So if we go back to feasibility of international trade, it very much applies to services as well, and you'll see that reference throughout the content. So every course covers both products and services. International trade finance. This course covers what you know about payment, risk mitigation, financing, and the flow of goods and services. Now, this one is, I would call it an entire module. It's not split into multiple core modules. It was really difficult to break down the content into separate modules because at the end of the day, all of the content in this course is really dependent on the other units in the course. So we've covered everything into one essential module. The last course in the FITTskills program is International Sales and Marketing. And this course, of course, covers how to market and sell your goods and services effectively anywhere in the world, broken down into 3 core modules: marketing your products and services, properly selling to international markets. So what are the requirements, which you should consider, and also a module on e-commerce. We have various FITTskills delivery partners, but in Manitoba, World Trade Centre Winnipeg is really delivering and catering to those working in international trade, those that are hoping to start exporting their products and services. So a great partner for you to connect with and work with in terms of developing your knowledge or even upskilling. These bullets on this slide cover some of the elements of the model that they are using. So the hours of the day are flexible and dependent on the instructor. So they have a lot of flexibility to design and deliver the training to ensure that it suits participants and aligns with the availability of the instructor. They have condensed the format of the training over 30 days for each of the 6 courses. Each course includes 4 sessions per month. The one element that's really important to ensure that you are dedicating sufficient time to engaging with students, encourage healthy conversations and discussions, and to really support those that are going through the program is ensuring that your class sizes are not too big. So they're doing a great job of ensuring that they are not having really big cohorts so that you can receive that dedicated support throughout your learning journey. So typically we're seeing 6 to 15 students per class. Sessions are offered virtually. You receive access to the curriculum required to complete your learning for each of the courses. Of course, there's the opportunity to write the assessment for the exam, which everyone should be doing so or encouraged to do so, because if you write the assessment for each of the courses, then you have an opportunity to earn credits towards the FITT Diploma of International Trade, which then leads to eventually earning the Certified International Trade Professional designation. And on this slide, I've also indicated, hopefully this is still up to date, but I've indicated the next 2 courses coming up through World Trade Centre Winnipeg on the screen. And of course, you can learn more by visiting their website at wtcwinnipeg.com. So now we'll go into an overview of the FITT credentials. We have essentially 2 different categories of credentials. We have educational credentials and we have a professional designation. The credentials are all based on global trade competencies through the FITTskills program. And for the professional designation, it's based on the competencies defined in the CITP competency profile. Sorry, moved too fast here. Those who are completing the FITTskills training through World Trade Centre Winnipeg are essentially on the path to achieving each of the credentials on this slide. So the first educational credential is the FITT Certificate in International Trade. So this credential is awarded once individuals have successfully completed any three of the FITTskills courses and the associated exam per course. And that essentially confirms that you're halfway through the FITTskills program. The next educational credential is the FITT Diploma in International Trade, and that credential is presented to individuals that have completed all 6 FITTskills courses and each of the assessments for those courses. And of course, that diploma or that credential confirms that you have met the requirements of the FITTskills program. Once you've earned the FITT diploma in international trade, you can then start assessing whether you meet the remaining requirements to earn the professional designation. So our professional designation is the Certified International Trade Professional designation. There are multiple eligibility requirements that you do have to meet in order to achieve that professional designation. And I'll go into that in the next section of this presentation. The Certified International Trade Professional designation is essentially a symbol of competency and credibility for global business practitioners. So it proves that you've met rigorous international trade competency standards, and that's through a combination of education, experience, and professional experience. That you possess the essential competencies for a successful career in international trade. You have a thorough grasp of the international trade processes. You are committed to global trade. You're dedicated as well to ethical business practices and ongoing professional development. And of course, it provides your clients, your employers, your colleagues, added confidence in the global skills and knowledge that you have achieved over the years. Are multiple pathways available to earn the CITP designation. The pathway that I'm focused on today in this webinar is really the path called the diploma pathway. So it's pathway 1 on our website. And that's the pathway for those that are going through the FITTskills program, either through FITT online or through our delivery partners like World Trade Centre Winnipeg. So everything on this slide applies to you on your journey through learning and upskilling through taking the training with World Trade Centre Winnipeg. So the first step is, of course, completing the FITTskills program and earning the FITT Diploma in International Trade. Once you've earned the FITT Diploma in International Trade, the next step is completing a minimum of 3 years of full-time work experience in international trade related to one or more of the CITP competency categories. Questions that we often receive about that experience. Does the experience start counting after I've earned the FITT diploma, or if I have already more than 3 years of work experience in international trade prior to taking the diploma or prior to completing the diploma requirements, does that count? Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you've gained the experience before taking the program or after that experience, so long as it's relevant, so long as it equals to a minimum of 3 years full time, that it relates to one of the CITP competency categories, and it would absolutely qualify as relevant experience. So once you have the diploma and you have the required number of years of work experience in international trade, you can start preparing your application for the CITP designation. So a few things to consider in terms of required documentation that you'll need to submit when you apply for the CITP designation. You have to include a cover letter that summarizes the experience and how your experience relates to each of the competency categories. In your CV, you have to provide a detailed CV that breaks down your detailed responsibilities in international trade related to each relevant position on your CV. So remember, of course, there's domestic trade and there's international trade. So what we're looking at and what we're certifying is international trade expertise. So words matter on your CV. So if you are working in domestic trade and just exporting within our borders, and separately, you've also gained experience exporting into markets outside of Canada, you'll want to make sure that the words that you're using clearly indicate international trade expertise or responsibility. So just take care in terms of drafting your CV. You must also provide 2 letters of reference. Now, we have a great reference policy on our website, and the reference policy indicates the 4 questions that your references must answer in the letters that you're submitting with your application. So those 4 questions are really important. The questions include how long have they known you, in what capacity, what type of experience related to international trade are they aware of that you have gained over the years, and why, of course, they recommend you as a CITP. So it's really important that those letters of reference cover the 4 questions, and that these letters are provided by individuals that have worked with you. And so, of course, no family or friends. They have to have worked with you within the same company. Or if you are a team of 1, of course, your clients can provide reference letters because, of course, they've used your services over the years. You've likely helped them through international trade issues, how to navigate through exporting products and services into different markets. So your clients can serve as great references for the CITP application. Once you have your application ready, along with all of the supporting documentation, you submit it online to FITT. We complete our assessment, and if we confirm that you have met all of the eligibility requirements to earn the CITP designation, then we provide confirmation that you have indeed earned the CITP. On this slide, these are just a few of the reasons specifically provided by CITPs in their own words as to why they feel it's really important to earn the CITP designation, the benefit to them. And they're all summarized in a great article on our Trade Ready blog. So that's tradeready.ca. We have a special section on our website for CITP blogs, so you can welcome to go on the blog and look at their profiles. But some of the reasons, so the validation of higher quality, compliance with standards of ethics and professionalism, being part of an elite network of global trade professionals is of high value for them. And really, of course, that it validates credibility and commitment to trade. So once again, you can see the details of that article on tradeready.ca. Here are some of the titles for those that currently have the CITP designation. I mean, we have a lot of CITPs, a lot of different titles, so I can't include them all, but these are just some of the titles for those that have achieved the CITP designation, including some of the pictures of our current CITPs. So trade commissioners, lots of trade advisors have our professional designation, business development officers, market intelligence specialists, research analysts, lots of individuals that are working behind the scenes doing the whole research for different markets for their organizations. So titles related to that. Of course, titles related to global supply chain, logistics, compliance. Those are all absolutely relevant and applicable to current CITPs. So again, encourage you to have a look at our tradeready.ca blog for more spotlights. So these are just, you can see here how it's organized on our website. So you'll find CITP Spotlight as one of the submenus on the blog. And again, just feel free to look up the various backgrounds of those that have achieved the designation over the years. That wraps up my formal presentation. I hope that this was helpful in terms of answering any of your questions about the training itself, the importance of building trade expertise, along with all of the great commentary provided by Andre at the beginning of this presentation as well. The credentials available to validate and showcase your skill set. So thank you for your time and attention. So now I will pass it back to Milena, and I will stop sharing my screen.
Yes, thank you so much, Silvia. This was a very insightful presentation. We have quite some time now for questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself, or you could also text that in the chat box, and Silvia will answer them. Anybody?
Maybe I'll just jump in, Silvia, and maybe I know this is the program has been, I don't know, recognized, let's say, by Global Affairs and Trade Commissioner Service and even internationally. Maybe just speak to that it's a program that has that credibility and reputation in Canada, but also on a global stage.
So it is an international designation. As I mentioned, it's not just a designation that is country neutral. It applies to anywhere, but the FITTskills training program applies regardless of where you're located around the world. So we have many students all over the world. We have many CITPs outside of Canada as well. In terms of special endorsements here in Canada, of course, it is the only official international trade training program catering to working professionals, especially recognized by Global Affairs Canada. It is also co-branded and co-delivered with Export Development Canada. So a few years ago, they've just been big proponents, big supporters of the content and the training. So they asked to be officially on the curriculum supporting us through it. So if you go on our website, you'll see that we've now, together with EDC, developed an international trade learning center, and you'll find the training listed below it. In terms of the Trade Commissioner Service, the Trade Commissioners do go through the FITTskills program and in fact complete their journey of earning the CITP designation. It is all through their pathway, through their own learning pathway at the department, and one of the ways that they can continue to progress in their careers at the department as well. So depending on where they're at in their journey with the Trade Commissioner Service, when they complete the FITTskills program, they have more opportunities. Once they earn the CITP, even more opportunities to them as well.
Yeah, and I'll just maybe add, I guess putting our money where our mouth is, but World Trade Centre has long valued the FITT program. All of our advisors, I believe, have all taken courses. A number of us, including Milena, has her diploma. So I think we have seen the importance and certainly continue from that standpoint. And also, a number of our instructors are CITP certified. And I think if you look at the resumes of those instructors that we're using, they bring a lot of additional value through their experience, but also they've, for the most part, have been through the FITT program, so understand it very well.
I had a question, Silvia. So especially nowadays, I guess, with global trade evolving and constantly changing, does the program stay relevant or gets reviewed to what's happening now?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
We do regularly review and update the program. The foundations of international trade don't really change.
Right.
Because you need to know the foundations and how to apply the foundations to truly be successful when it comes to international trade. In terms of the current challenges that many organizations are facing right now, the foundations will serve them better. But thanks to the help of our instructors, in the classroom and through instructor-led training, they're able to adapt the exercises and discussions, etc., to fit the current landscape that we're all facing.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we're seeing that in the classes and examples being brought up from all over the news are actually the best examples. So.
All right, perfect. Well, if there are no further questions, we can go ahead and wrap up the webinar here. So thank you again, Silvia, for the valuable information that you shared. For those who are interested in expanding your international trade knowledge, I really highly recommend looking into the FITTskills program. Like Andre mentioned, I've done it myself, so I find it extremely valuable. I've also included some links for the next two FITTskills courses that we're offering in the month of September and October in the chat. But yeah, stay tuned for more webinars and events that are coming up in the fall, and make sure to sign up for our event newsletter as well. So thank you so much, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.